Good morning, people. Today we are in the Gold Coast hinterland, in a little place they have bought back with the Gold Coast Council, which is the Pocket Road conservation area. So this is pretty much, we're going to be heading to a tributary of Tonyscreek, which is a tributary of the Nerang River. We'll see how this is going to go, how well it's going to flow. It's a pretty steep track there to the creek, actually. Let's see, there's a few little tracks in here, but let me veer it off and see what we can find. Alright, so this is the creek, this is the track that crosses over. They've driven a track through there recently. Tributary we want to do is a bit further up here, and then it runs up the hill, and we can maybe loop that back by this track. But we're just going to see what's going on. It looks like there could be a little section of cascades at the start where it nearly joins this creek, but I was going to cross and go on the other side, but it's a little bit thick there. So we'll go this other side for the moment. I hope we can cross back over because it looks a bit deep here. Hopefully it will give us some stepping stones. Push it along, got some grass and rocks here to walk on, which is good. So one of the Tonyscreek's Tributary falls that runs off pretty much the side of the range back down there as you come along the Numinbah Valley Road. That's visible after heavy rain in summer, but at the moment it seems to be drying up, so I'm a bit worried that these trips might dry up as well. However, this creek here is flowing pretty well, so yeah, we'll just cruise along here and just see. I haven't seen anyone go in here. Like, I've seen people, what I believe to have abseiled Tonyscreek, the one I just mentioned that you can see from the road. But I never mentioned anyone going into this way through the pocket reserve and everything, and this is pretty nice. Really nice little section of rock here. That's cool. You can definitely cross here now. It's looking good on the other side to walk on. So this is definitely our crossing point. Happy days. That's golden. The trib's not very far. We'll be going left, so I don't think they have platypus in here. This could be interesting. These little deep pockets of pools. Shame this cascade wasn't bigger, it'd be sick. Nice and easy to get to. That's a really deep section there. You could jump off that. This could be a swimming hole for sure. A lot of people do come here. Just wondering how much water that, or how much that clears out a bit. At the moment it looks a bit greeny, but it could just be the way the colour is with the early morning. It is autumn, so a bit cold to swim at the moment. And yeah, it's almost winter, mind you. It was 16 degrees in Nerang and now it's 13 degrees out here. So we've got fucking 3 degrees colder in the valley. The sun hasn't warmed it up yet. Okay, so we'll cruise along this edge. And I'll show you once we get to the junction, see if it's flowing. If she's flowing, happy days. If it's not flowing, we'll have to make a new plan. Lost a bit of irrigation pipe, I don't know what that's about. I'm already chopping my way along the edge here. The trib is just there, I believe. I can't really see any water, but it could be flowing. It's a bit wider rock, I just can't see. But yeah, I don't think people will really come up here because if there's not a path cut here, they haven't come here, obviously. Unless they've gone on the other side and then crossed, who knows. Let's see how this looks. I want to get up Tony's main falls, but I think I might do it a bit differently. We'll have to see. I think I can get a bit closer further around the road to get to it, I don't know. This looks pretty damn dry, unfortunately. Just going to put the spanner in today's already agenda. Well, no, she is flowing, but minimal. Any, many, miny, mo. We'll go and have a little look because the first section of lines isn't far in where there could be something, so happy days. Look at this too, this could be another 6 swimming spot. It's very interesting. Look at this. The colour's actually coming out pretty nice. Wow. Paradise. I see why they bought it to conserve it. Alright, so that track that we used to walk in, the management trail, it apparently crosses this trib further up. And the creek does go much further up the range, but it might definitely dry out. There's definitely potential of larger waterfalls up there, but whether it still flows is the question. But worst case, we can at least get to this management trail. It's only a short distance of a K or two. We'll make the decision to keep going or not from there. See if this is a yield anything good, and yeah, how we feel about the flow. Let's see what this first bit will give us. Flow's definitely getting lost in these rocks already. We're barely in. Nearly underground completely. This might be worth saving for summer. But can hear something up here. That log is super slimy, so I'm not going to jump over it. Yeah, we'll just see. At least this first section's not far in, so there's a random ass huge rock all of a sudden. Got gorgy. I can hear Waterfall, but it looks like she's trapped in boulders. You bastard. You know what? I don't know if I can even climb up that. Might already be trapped. Might have to go up the fucking side here, which is a nightmare. Hope we can get around it. Yeah, I don't think I can. Oh, fuck. I can walk through that water, is shallow enough, but then I might be able to scale up that rock. Maybe. Let's try. Can be ice cold in this little dark corner. Alright, so I was going to go through the guts, but I realised I don't think I can climb that little. There's a next boulder cascade thing in there, so I'm going to go up. Hopefully I can get back in again. I can spy a future level. Looks like a better slab of rock for a better looking cascade. So yeah, let's keep going. I can't believe how much a little bit of a gorge this fucking trib is. This is way more than I expected. So yeah, I nearly could have got into here. I wasn't sure if I could climb that section there. If you did get up it, looks like you could maybe get into there. It's a nice little pool. It's a bit leafy, but it's a nice little colour and nice little cascade. And the bigger cascade's above it. You maybe could have climbed out here, but it's still rugged, raw fucking sides here. This is crazy. I can hear the maintenance workers up there. They just drove the car along, so they're not too far up. Yeah. We'll just shoot up here. Hopefully I can get a fucking angle and it looks like there's little faint tracks here. Looks like there is a way to get back in again, so we will duck down for that first little level. We'll see if we can just go up the creek. Otherwise, up the side of this wall here's a nice run. So that track that crosses over, it does bend around and ends up on the right as well. Either way, we're going to meet. Alright, I'll double back down there. I can't really believe I even got down that. Anyway, so this is where I would have got in if I had jumped in, and I was right to call it. I wouldn't have got up this. There's actually nothing to grab. So anyway, good stuff. This is pretty cool. I am liking the next little bit because you can see all three levels now. It's nice. Hopefully we can climb right up through here. Should be sweet. I'm so glad we found a way down because this is fucking sick. This is the bit of green pool you can see from way back there, but you couldn't even really appreciate it properly. This is grouse. Definitely the hidden gorge of the Gold Coast. Wow. I think it's a bit too cold to have to wade through that right now to get up, and you could climb up that easily, but let's just go off and around for now. I think I can get back in again fairly easily. The scarred along the side managed to cut back in again, so dodgy but doable. In this section here, I should be able to climb up to the side of this fairly alright. See how we go. Maybe in that corner, or I can try to scurry the rock. That'd be in high flow, you get 3 streams of water coming gushing through there, and maybe that's a trib dropping in, I don't know. Alright, so climbed up. This is the next tier of it. There's still potentiality of like maybe 1 or 2 more drops before we're going to hit our track, and then we'll figure out if we're going to keep going. There are 2 other tribs that kind of left and right, east and west of where we are right now. Ooh, look at this. This would have been a sick trib waterfall if that was flowing. Fuck. Look how good that fucking face of rock is. It's a damn shame it's dry. Oh, that sucks. I'm trying to figure out if we've got a level just coming up here or if the creek's going to turn. I think the creek is turning. It's crazy how much of a gorge this place is. Yeah, so there's a management track that veers off to the left that goes towards another trib we might look at because it kind of ends at the creek. And we can maybe jump on and just maybe get a few levels out of it. And then maybe we'll go back to where we started and go down. one more trip down further to the east. We'll see how we go. Let's go have a close look at this first, just for the fact. This is why summer's good. You just can't do everything in summer, people. I've tried. I went out 3 times every fucking week, all through summer, all through spring, all through friggin' autumn. And I still cannot keep up with the load to get everything in its fucking pristine flow. It sucks. This is cool, man. This will be in a good waterfall. It's got watermarks, so it has flowed recently, but not recently enough. Wow. This little pool is fucking clear as. Only tiny cascade, but it fucking just looks picturesque with the red rock and just the side rocks and the green ferns. It's got really nice fucking, a nice look about it. If it was bigger, it'd be sick. Look at this amphitheatre. What the fuck? This is amazing. You wouldn't even expect this is here. That is an awesome looking waterfall. It's almost like looking like sandstone, but it's not sandstone, but it has the futuristics of the way it's slanting and wow. I don't know how we're going to get out of here easily. It's all fucking lantana. The wall shoots far in that way. You're almost better off trying to climb the fucking waterfall. It looks fucking dodgy, but I don't know. We'll assess that after. Otherwise, we've got to go right up through all the jungle. You can't even hit that wall and really get up. Yeah, you're better off. My only hope is to try and climb that bit there, honestly. Otherwise, I've got to go right up and over everything. We'll see how slippery it is and how much there is to hold. I'm not loving it, but it looks maybe doable. Let's get a closer look. Wow. It's crazy. I don't think you'd ever can swim here. I think it's always going to be fairly shallow. You never know. Maybe it does raise up. Pretty cool. I'm actually thinking I maybe can climb up it. If I go up actually further over it to the right, then climb that corner where it's drier, that'd be smarter. I can get in. Otherwise, actually, you could actually go up here into the rock wall and push up. But I don't think I have to. I think that'll work. That's at least better than if I was going to have to cut from down there because I couldn't see there was a straight run. But no, we'll try the face. But it's a good morning tea spot, that's for sure, and a great little find. I've never seen a photo of this. It's just the rock is just so random in here. It's just wow. It just doesn't seem like it fits in this normal area. Loving it. Alright, so pull myself up to face the falls. Took a fucking second. It's easy-ish, but dodgy-ish. Now I'm kind of almost stuck in this section. I think I can hopefully get up. It's a bit slick, but I can probably try to scale it or try and use that tree or something. Alright, I got up it pretty easy. I just took the sandals off and just went barefoot just to be extra careful. There's little bits of holes. It makes me wonder if rock climbers have been here. But who knows? Shout out in the comments if you reckon you've been here. So I reckon we're pretty much out of the woods with that. I think there's a little cascade here, but I think it's just going to be fairly bouldery until we hit the track. So I think that's the biggest drop. I'll reiterate, not the biggest drop of this whole trip because I reckon it climbs the whole cliff. I reckon just in this section between here and where the track is what I meant. You can't even get perspective or even appreciate how good of a waterfall drops off there. It doesn't look that impressive at all from the top. That's crazy. Oh, cool little cascade. Not huge, but not bad at all. Full water, full goes underground in a lot of this creek. Looks like a lot of track line on this creek. Lantana's fucking starting here. I hope these guys are fucking spraying weeds, i.e. lantana. Because this creek can get real fucked if they don't do it. Another little section here. We'll be nearly at the fucking track crossing, I think. Look at this. Creek full turns left over this fucking massive shelf. Again, a really interesting waterfall. It's a damn shame that one, these trees are fucking up the photo, and two, it's kind of, the water's not even, it's just all spread on one corner. Interesting. Well, this trib is just one of many that runs off the Beachmont Plateau, and obviously the plateau is holding water all the time. It is pretty wet up there, so Join's on the Lamington Plateau. Alright, let's see if we've got some more little levels up here before it flattens completely. Well, it's going to flatten before the road, because the road has to cross on a flat spot, clearly. And then we'll see if there's anything directly just after the road. Will be interesting as well. Might get lucky if we get a couple that are just up from the road. Maybe people would know about those ones because they're probably visible if you walk the road, but I don't know about this section getting done. It must be rocky here. And looks like another corner. Looks like there could be a trib dropping in there, but it's dry. Little curves on us here. Alright, so we come around this corner now. We've got a bit of a choky, rocky section, which was unexpected for being way down the creek that we are. So we're just trying to push to the road, which is not far. Good track, mind you. There's work just going out of the creek at this stage and go around this. We'll persevere through it because it looks like it's fucking really closed over it. I'll just continue through. This is very weird. There's a tree down, there's all grass going over there, there's a boulder. Now the road's more just there. I don't know, we'll just squeeze through this scap and see. Alright, so I squeezed through that boulder rock. Creek's pushed me all right, so I don't know if it was a split, the other one must be dry. The following this is very, like, I don't know, it looks unappealing at this point. The track would be up there, pretty much that. Press the curve around, so we'll just go continue a little bit further and just see how much it pops up to the road or whatever. And I think we'll go check out the other trib then. I think we might just leave it if it's going to be like this. We shall see. There's been a landslip on the side of this. Bank's been washed in. Well, the creek dries out straight away, or goes underground straight away. Across the road here. There goes the road there, we'll go back to it. So yeah, that definitely cancels out going up that for the moment. Maybe in summer, like I said, different story, but today I'm glad we got what we got in this section. This little loop was only quick, but it yielded enough to make it worth it. So, and even quite hectic. That little gorge was not expected and challenging more than I thought. So I don't know what they're doing down here. Maybe they're extending this track. They're supposed to just end over there. Yuck. I don't think they're logging it, but I don't know what the fuck they're doing anyway. Secrets of the conservation reserves. This is definitely a bulldozer. Alright, so we're going back around now and we're going to veer off, see what we'll get on this other trib where this other track goes. Well, this is the little Gold Coast conservation signs for the walking track, so this is saying exit obviously. Always walk in, doesn't say where it goes. This is a random maintenance trail that's not on the map. I don't know what that's about. I don't know where that goes. It's definitely not on here. Well, that track actually, when I said it ends around there, it actually splits into two different ways and they both end. Anyway, there's a split coming up here which is a weird loop. Management track, I don't know why. It's only a short distance of like 200 metres. Splits and goes wider on itself, which is unnecessary for the track. So I don't know where you're meant to walk to, or what the end goal is, but there's nothing advertised here. Maybe they're trying to make something for the future, but for the moment, it's just a bulldozer track. They put the signs in like, walk the bulldozer track, sure. And don't mention anything about that creek, how gorgeous that little section was. Full hidden away down there. Wow. What a waste. Oh, the management trail, that would have been that one just going, that is the one that goes wider, apparently. Interesting. Anyway. I don't know. See, what's this split here? See, this wasn't on the map either. This is very confusing. I don't know what that track is. Yeah, something's going on. Says you can get exit either way. Unless this is a bit wrong with the loop and that other management trail or something else. I don't fucking know. Anyway, we'll walk down here for this one. Like I said, we want to veer off to the right coming up and go towards this other tributary. So it's about 300 metres long off this track and about 100 metres to turn off. So 400 metres to hit the next creek. And then we'll see, it starts right near the corner of Roshan's Lookout Conservation Park, which joins onto this conservation park. The lines start to climb up straight away, so if it's flowing, we'll see a waterfall almost instantly. See how it pans out for us, and we'll just explore that. Again, that goes all the way up to the fucking road. It's a big day, and a long day, and very steep. Let's see if it's flowing still. What the fuck was that noise? A massive bang. Anyway. Yeah, so on this loop, we're on the inside one, but it's supposed to be still one more wider. There's technically 3 loops here that veer around in the same thing. I don't know. It's confusing, I know, I barely understand it myself. Alright, well, down here we go, and yeah, look, we'll just see, we'll entertain this trip for a little bit, and then we'll double back out to the management trail back to the start, and maybe look at that last trib for one more little section. Again, it has some good lines right in the beginning where the trib hits the creek. So really 3 that we can explore, at least the first sections of them, which could give us the most water flow anyway. So, all right, see down here wherever this junction is supposed to be, another 50 metres, somewhere after this paddock, I reckon. Well, at least this track is bulldozed. This might have been a very long, overgrown shithouse fucking track. So we're lucky to do this right now. I don't know what that track is, another one veering off. I don't know if that joins to the other one. Or just, it doesn't seem like that could be a loop. That's going pretty wide that way. Interesting. Too much things going on here, eh? Maybe that is actually our track we want to take, because that is pretty close to the creek. It's pretty close to where it's supposed to turn, but I reckon it's still a little bit further up here. Look at this view here. That is grouse. As if they don't signpost a fucking little lookout here with the valley. Numinbah Valley. Look at that fucking side of Lamington. Boom. Wow, there's Springbrook. That is so cool. Well, it reckons now that the track's supposed to be here. I don't think it is. I think it's a bit mismarked, and it's probably that one that's back there. So let's go back and have a look at it. There's a kind of a tyre track going there. I don't know if that's an indicator of it's meant to be the track, or it's just an optical illusion and someone's just trying to turn around there. I don't fucking know. Well, let's follow this track. Let's see if it veers on the same angle the track's supposed to be. And because the gully, you can see it there now, it's running into there that way. So this will run up the side of it. There's Beachmont Plateau behind us. So we'll just have a look. There's no guarantees this track is maintained as much as this one. There's no guarantees it actually hits the creek. It says it goes pretty close to it, but it could not be. It could stop before it and not be. Could be overgrown. I don't know. We'll just have a look. Well, the gully is pretty much got to be beside us. You can almost just cut to the gully, but the idea was to follow this and see if it gives us a shortcut, because it's pretty flat here. Where it starts to climb is pretty much where this ends, so why not follow this if it's manageable. It's a bit muddy, but at least it's not snaky, so that's a win. I'm gonna sink in this like no tomorrow. Oh, I'm already sinking. Just gonna get past this swamp. Fucking hell. Hopefully it gets better. So that's an old fence post there. So this would have been someone's farm they bought back. So this could be an original farm trail. Feet are a little muddy, but I got through the burst part on the side, so that was lucky. At least this is mowed here, this is perfect. If this was overgrown, we'd be abandoning this right now. But I'll persevere in. We don't know if this has even got any water, but we'll find out soon enough. There's an old fence there running along the creek. So we must be pretty close to the water, to the creek. There it would be in there. Sounds pretty quiet. Unless this is just a gully before the creek. This might not be the right one. So we're along the boundary too of someone else's actual property. So that side actually is still owned. It's not part of the conservation. This is the creek. How's it going? Still goes up here. There's a wooden fence thing up here. Let me just check the map. I think this is just another trib. Muddy hill. Yeah, that's not the trib we're exactly chasing. So that's just another random gully. The one we want is supposed to be over the next one. So this will probably climb up and around. It'll be parallel, and then it'll be, yeah, obviously down in there. So we'll see how this goes. This is the whole gate. Look at that. That's the timber I was saying. Interesting. Is that a fox bait sign on the gate? It would be. Warning. I can't read it, but I'm pretty sure it says that. Poison laid, yep. That's someone's paddock, I reckon, but yeah. Let's keep going. So private property ahead, it says no entry, but we're still in the reserve. Maybe this is where the road is ending. That creek's probably down there. It's very choky. Really old gate. Can't hear water, but doesn't mean it's not flowing. It's like there's just corners off here. Look, it's a weird road just fades away. You might as well jump in, go through all the weeds. Hopefully we get some sort of sign of water there. This is the end of the management trail, and it's a lie because it's telling me we are still in. If you follow this fence line and stay on this side, you'll hit Rogin's conservation parks. You don't cross any private property. The private property is this side. But it's fucking neglected. I don't think he's coming down here. He could be even dead. They could have actually bought it and they haven't demolished the old house, and that's why they've blocked it off. I noticed that near Horseshoe Falls at Springbrook, one of the trails of the buyback area, same thing. It said private property, no entry. You walk down there and there's a really old abandoned shack falling apart with all these derelict cars. And they just don't want people sticking their nose around that, so they make it seem like it's someone's property, but it's well neglected. There's no bridge to get in, it's all washed away. So unless these cunts are walking in every time, it's bullshit. It could even be an illegal cabin, I don't even know. Anyway, let's have a look at it over here. Just want to see if there's water on this creek. If there's not, well, then we know. Well, if this is the right gully, I think it is. It's fucking pretty dry. I don't even see any good slabs of rock, but it probably will start to climb. But this does go back into Rogine, so it's you don't have to even technically jump into this bit. You could go a bit further and jump in right at the boundary, but GPS has been a bit squirrely. It's saying that we're not on the creek yet, but it's got to be because it's fucking there. So anyway, we'll ban this for now. Maybe in the future, if it's raining, we'd have entertain going up the hill, but look, there's even a faint track here, which is weird. We can go straight to the creek from the gate and nearly. Interesting. Alright, so we've got one more trip we're going to look at, which is back past where we started. Hopefully that's flowing, because we've got to walk back past where we already went and continue on, and if it does have a good little section of line, so it should yield us a nice reward. That trip was not really, well, it looks longish, but I mean, it wasn't really the agenda because it was only because it had this management trail running near it. I thought, well, we could get easy access, so let's have a look, but yeah, no. We got all muddy, covered in fucking farmers' friends, cobblers pegs, and got nothing to show for it, so that's great. I'm glad that first creek was good. Let's continue back. Let's get back. Should be, I don't know, 15 minutes to get back to the start. It's another management trail. Supposed to end at the fence, and it's another fucking. Apparently, it's the same creek. But unless that was a trib and it was dribbling, there was a better flow. It's hard to know. Is it worth going to check? Yeah, debatable. Nah, let's just go to the other creek. We know that's at least going to be easier to get onto, and we'll know whether it's flowing straight away or not from the main creek. It's almost lunchtime, so what I'll do is I'll head back to the creek just down here, and we'll go to that first little spot where I said it could be a good swimming hole, and that'll be at a lunch spot for the moment. Beautiful day. Look at this fucking blue sky, not a cloud. What a cracker. Amazing. Supposed to piss down on the weekend. Sorry for your weekend hikers. You're gonna get fucked. Caution, do not proceed against flooded tracks. So if you've been hiking and it started raining and this is flooded, you have to live on this side now until the water recedes. Yeah, right. Alright, back to the beginning. Let's go up and loop for one more. So the hard part about doing this Tony's Creek from the base is that it goes through a farm at the end of Pocket Road. That's going to be hard to fucking sneak through their shit, but once you get through like fucking half a K, you're into fucking National Park. And then it climbs up the hill, hits Beachmont Road, and then it's fucking pretty much, yeah, pretty much National Park all the way up. So it's just a start, that's the fucking issue. As you can see, she is flowing, so definitely be nice to try and get up it. Just, I don't know how to do it from here now. Anyway, we're gonna sit here and eat lunch, this will be fine. And we'll head up and look at the next trib. It's only about 300 metres away. Perfect lunch spot. Ew! Yeah, so the thing is, the next trib is actually in Springbrook National Park. However, there's a house in between. Of course there is. Well, this would be easy for me. So the idea is hopefully we can sneak along the creek and not get spotted, because there's only a few hundred metres between where this park ends, go past the house, and then it's back into the fucking national park, then we're sweet. And probably have to retrace the same way, I think, to get back out. So, one, hopefully we walk all the way past the house and it actually has water in the trib, otherwise it's really fucking annoying. So, we'll see how it all pans out. We'll give it a crack. If the house is too red hot, we'll just turn around and come back. At least got to try. Alright, so we're back past our trib where we went in this morning, and this is the new uncharted territory. Our next trib will be on the left as well, and the house is going to be on the right, so obviously we'll do our best to stay tucked in the bush, and hopefully yeah, hopefully it'll work to get us there, and hopefully just get some water. It's a weird part of the national park, where it's another little separate, its own little block, its own little section, doesn't join to the main part. For some reason they've just wanted to conserve one little random bit of this side, which says a lot. There probably will be something good in there, because why else would they make a national park, eh? There's another trip as well, at least, more to the east, that we're not going to do with this now, but you can come from the main road, I think. And that's also still in the national park, same little bit. So at least two tribs it covers. Hopefully we don't get too pushed up on a steep bank here. There's the boundary of the fence. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Interesting. If we can push through and stay, that looks pretty choky. It could be done, but the outside looks a bit clearer, but I don't want to be stuck over there and can't cross back. Hard to know. Well, we'll have a look. Well, this is turning to shit. Super fucking hectic. I'm gonna have to cut this. It's gonna take ages at ages. And I just saw a golf cart driving around the paddock over there, so it's gonna take a long time to move, and he's probably gonna come back. I have to cut through this shit. I could almost just push through this bit of lantana. Fuck, this is a nightmare. Don't know, 300 metres would be like the longest 300 metres ever. Well, there might be another way. So as we go back out, we move the car down Pocket Road, and then there's a full drive track or something. It doesn't say it goes to National Park, but it veers off towards the Nerang River, and then there's someone's recorded a Gaia track for a motorbike, and they rode up somewhere that's not on the map as a track, but maybe there is a track. Once we get there, we'll see it. And it heads towards the other side of this trib. So maybe there's a track close to the waterfall, then from there we could just cut in from the other side. So if that works, I don't know. I wouldn't really have trusted the entry track, but because they've recorded a track, it makes me curious, and it's only just up the road. So we'll just drive in there and have a look at the end of the road. If we don't like it, if we can't see anything, then we'll ban it, but otherwise it might still work for us. Interesting. All right, so back along we go. That can be done, I reckon. If you're going to do it, do this first. Do it early morning. Really wake up and want to. Fucking, it's an Airbnb. I can try and ask them. It's like to the manor born. They've got super fucking like manicured lawn, and they're outside. They're actively looking after the place, which is great. So many farm people just neglect their properties and don't give a shit. Don't even go outside as much as they probably should when they live there all the time. So kudos to them, but yeah, they were very active. It was not possible to sneak past. I mean them no harm. I just want to get to the national park, but sucks there's no easement. Should be a creek easement. This is my beef. Anyway, let's see what the other road brings us. So alright, so double back out here. Lucky this wasn't too long to come back. Alright, so this gated road is national park. That's why they've recorded their fucking track. And this track will cross Tony's Creek downstream, and then we can cut back into the creek, rock on back up. And we might have some better luck, because I think it's a bit longer, obviously, because we were so close to turning to the trib where we were. We had 300 fucking meters. Now we've got to do like a K. But I think the national park actually crosses the creek further down this way. So I think we actually will be walking in the national park. So I don't think they'll have their boundaries. I think we'll be better off anyway. So we do the mission. I've clocked it at about 3.5 Ks return to go up the trip and back from here. It is nearly 1 o'clock. No camping. No bicycles. But you can walk. What's wrong with the fucking bicycle? How dare you cycle? It's a bit rough here. Anyway, it's weird because the way the park boundary works, the way it's drawn, it starts off national park and then apparently goes out of national park before we cut back into it again. So I don't understand. But I'm sure this road's going to go the whole way regardless. Fuck, this is a rocky fucking road. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you wouldn't want to cycle this, to be honest. Fucking stacking up the handlebars. Anyway, so yeah, let's see how this pans out. Might have some better luck. Alright, I'll see you at the creek crossing. Now we won't follow their fucking track actually, because I realised the creek, we can just jump on the creek and go back along it. We don't have to follow their recorded track. It extends beyond the marked trail. And that goes up a bit further, like on the other side of the hill kind of thing, and then we'll be a bit far from the creek. So I think we'll just do the creek if it looks good. So I'm sure it will. It's a really rough full drive track. Maybe the trucks have come in here for something. I don't know what they're doing in here, but interesting. I have no idea where this track fucking sign come from, but it's from the Gold Coast City Council. Riparian habitats, based on the Latin word riparius, which means belonging to the bank of a river. Okay. I don't know where they had it. Like, was it right next to where you crossed the creek? It's got a bag of concrete at the bottom and still fucking floated away. That is wild how much water would flow down here then. I'd carry it back, but it's fucking heavy. So they can find it themselves. Gold Coast Council, if you watch this video, your sign's about 200 metres down the creek. You're welcome. I didn't even notice it on the way through. I must have been higher on the... It was laying down. I just stood it up then, so now it's more visible. It's probably going to be washed out to sea eventually. It might float to China. Who knows? Maybe they can learn about riparious creek habitats in Beijing. Alright, on we go. Well, I've just come off the main track and there's this grass track coming in, which is not on the map. It looks like this is a shortcut to the creek anyway. It'll save its fucking few hundred metres. If it works, it works. We're heading the wrong way, like we had to go back that way anyway, so the faster we cut the better. We could have almost just cut in a straight line on his boundary line, but whatever. I think this is just the Tributary. This can't be it already. Let's see where this goes in. So they've planted these blue gums actually, or whatever the fuck is going on. These trees are pretty much in rows for a reason. They're not very straight trees for logging, but so I don't know what the deal is. Well, the creek's only like 50 metres over there, but I'm not seeing easy way to bash through that. I could just go through it obviously, but there's this corner going to block me out here, you can't. If it does, we'll just have to cut over. Either that or we go back to 200 metres back to the proper entry. I don't know, this might push us into the creek here. This might work. There we go. Happy days. That was random as this track. Alright. So I hope this fucking works. Well, again, this is not really a track marked on the map, but it's nicely maintained. It's following the creek parallel, so that's good. Saves a bit of time. We've got to find a way to cross the creek, but we'll just follow this for a bit first. And then hopefully duck in on the right side, get ready for the trib. Now there's his property line. We're at the other end of it now. It's a funny side thing of that. Track obviously ending, so we're just pushing into the creek here. And hopefully we've got a better chance. Back to Tony's Creek. Very fucking swamped out here. Really got to cross over. I don't know where we're going to do that. We'll have to just traipse through here. Alright, so we've got a track on the other side here. I just pulled out a rusty bit of fucking heavy fucking metal out of the creek that was inoxing fucking, what's the word? It's fucking rusting, alright? Iron oxide, I don't know what the word is. All the red shit on my hands now, I could barely get it off. There's an old fence there. Anyway, no fence going across this way, so we'll take that as a win. It's a massive tree there, look at that. Got barbed wire hanging out of it. There's two. There's been tangled up from the flood. Yeah. Crazy. There's an old fence. Yeah, this would be the old fence line here. Wrapped around here, got an angle. The joys again. There's so many weird old fence lines. Look at this gate. What the fuck? Wow. We've haven't been over here for a while, obviously. I don't know what this track is, but apparently this is supposed to be National Park, marked on Gaia. On this side and his side, which makes no sense. Anyway, it's probably a bit wrong. It's probably meant to be just this side alone, but hey, we're over here, so I don't know. Let's just keep going. Giant trib coming out of there, that's not the one. We've got a faint track on this side, which is weird. Well, after all the fucking around, we finally got here. And she's choked and fucking dry. What the fuck? Oh well, that was a failure. Back we go. I'm surprised we got lucky with the trip we did this morning and actually not one got water and two got waterfall. So what the hell? Oh well, at least this knocks this off for now. Definitely got to figure out a way. Maybe I can knock on the door for the farm. Even though it's rural, I have to go for the gate to try and ask them to get up Tony's Creek. Otherwise, steep bash off a spur, off the top. It's gonna be a fuck around. At least this walk wasn't too overgrown to get back, so it wasn't too nightmarish. I'm glad we didn't cut all the other shit. This was actually better coming from this way. The other way would have been cut, and then we would have got here and been like, it's fucking dry. Bastard, eh? It wasn't even that wide at the bottom, like it might get better up the stream. It comes off the cliff line, like it has some good potentiality, but I don't know. Anyway, I see up the track here. I just was way not looking at the fucking track, and yeah, snake just fucking took off from the side there. Fuck, he was a grey whip snaker. Alright, so I'm back on whatever the hell this is, track that joins the national park. So yeah, hope you enjoy this journey. Now you know what's in and around here. You could try and explore a little bit more, pushing the boundaries further than where I went on the other side to see where their track's going, where they're building it. I don't think you're going to get much, but hey, don't know, I didn't go there, so feel free to check it out. Comment if you go there and tell me what's there. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, catch you in the next one, and peace out. Boom.